Larry Bird is sick of the WNBA mistreating Caitlin Clark. And after her fight with Marina, he's had enough. Now, Larry's offering Caitlin Clark options too good to refuse. What did he say? And how did Caitlin react? Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable. As the #1 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, she brought unprecedented attention to the league. Her rookie season shattered records: 337 assists, the most ever in a single WNBA season, and 761 points, the highest mark for a rookie. Clark's impact is unreal. Instantly, her games drove a 170% spike in viewership, with 18 of the 21 Fever matchups on ESPN surpassing 1 million viewers. But here's where it gets even more shocking. When Clark missed games in June 2025 with a groin injury, ratings plummeted 55%. Viewership dropped from 9.9 million for her games to under 4.5 million. Ticket sales followed. Attendance for non-Fever games sank 30%. Here's why this matters. Clark isn't just a player. She's the WNBA's financial engine. From 2024 to 2025, she single-handedly boosted franchise valuations by 180%, with the Fever's value alone soaring 273%. Unreal numbers. But here's what they're not telling you. Despite her transformative impact, the WNBA has failed to protect, or fully capitalize on, Clark's star power. In 2024, she absorbed 17% of all flagrant fouls league-wide, a staggering number for a rookie who played just 40 games. And this season, the targeting has only intensified. J.C. Sheldon's eye poke, Marina Mabrey's flagrant 2 shove on June 17, 2025. Each incident proved the league's inability to shield its biggest asset. The WNBA upgraded Mabrey's foul post-game, but issued no suspension, sparking outrage. Analysts like Christine Brennan blasted Commissioner Kathy Engelbert for refusing to condemn the hit. And if you think that's bad, let's talk business. Clark's $78,000 salary pales next to her $11 million in endorsements, a glaring example of the league failing to compensate its top draw. This is where things get dangerous. The WNBA's business model has long been unsustainable, relying on the NBA to cover losses. In 2024, despite record viewership and a $200 million media deal, the league still reported a $40 million loss. The NBA subsidizes about 50% of WNBA operations, pouring in $15 to $20 million annually. And the consequences? Brutal. That financial dependence has bred complacency. Instead of embracing its biggest star, the WNBA often prioritizes political narratives over profit, alienating the very player who could lead them to independence. But that's not the worst part. Instead of leveraging Clark's popularity, the league downplays it. On social media, frustration is everywhere. The WNBA is more interested in checking boxes than making money. Caitlin Clark is their ticket to relevance, and they're throwing it away. Engelbert's habit of lumping Clark's name with others like Angel Reese has drawn criticism. Rather than highlight Clark's unique impact, her games account for 80% of the league's top-rated broadcasts. Engelbert often references the entire rookie class, diluting her stardom. This feeds the perception that the WNBA is more invested in identity politics than maximizing a once-in-a-generation talent. And that's dangerous. Meanwhile, the league's soft response to Clark's physical targeting makes things worse. After Mabrey's shove, Fever guard Sophie Cunningham stepped in. The league fined Cunningham $400 but issued no suspensions, essentially signaling that going after Clark carries little consequence. Fans erupted. The WNBA is fine with Clark getting beat up because it fits their narrative. They don't care about the money she brings in. And here's another red flag. Clark finished 9th among guards in player-voted All-Star ballots despite 1.3 million fan votes. To many it looked like internal resistance to her stardom. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. The WNBA's refusal to fully embrace Clark opened the door for a legend, Larry Bird. Larry Bird knows what it's like to be an outsider. When he entered the NBA in 1979, critics doubted him. A white player from small-town Indiana in a league dominated by urban stars. Could his unflashy style, fundamentals, vision, clutch shooting, compete? The answer was yes. Bird silenced critics, averaging 21.3 points and 10.4 rebounds as a rookie. He led the Celtics to 61 wins, won 3 MVPs and 3 championships, and, along with Magic Johnson, saved the NBA from financial collapse. Ratings in the 1980s jumped 52% because of Bird and Magic. And here's why it matters. Bird's story mirrors Clark's. He was transformative. His passing, long-range shooting, and unique style reshaped basketball. And when opponents got physical, the NBA didn't let it slide. They built their marketing machine around him and Magic. No one in the league would have dreamed of letting Bird walk away, so now the question is, will the WNBA make the same mistake with Caitlin Clark? Or will Larry Bird step in with an offer too powerful to ignore? But what happens next? You won't believe it. In contrast, Bird's offer highlights how the WNBA's treatment of Clark feels exclusionary, as if her meteoric rise threatens the league's established order. Bird, who has publicly praised Clark, reportedly sees her as a kindred spirit, a player whose talent and marketability are being squandered by a league too focused on politics to see the bigger picture. And this is where things go completely off the rails. On June 17, 2025, reports surfaced that Larry Bird, leveraging his influence as a former Celtics executive and NBA icon, offered to back Clark in forming her own WNBA team, a move that would give her control over her environment and brand. While details remain speculative, the proposal fits Bird's history of bold moves. He once pushed for front office changes to elevate the Celtics' competitiveness. And the real reason behind this will blow your mind. Bird reportedly believes the WNBA has failed Clark by not protecting her from physical targeting, and by downplaying her role in the league's growth. In a rare public statement, he said, "Caitlin Clark is a talent you build around, not push aside. The WNBA is missing the boat, and it's a shame. Stick around, because the next part is huge." Bird's offer isn't just about Clark. It's a direct challenge to the WNBA's broken business model. A Clark-led team, potentially backed by investors drawn to her $11 million endorsement portfolio, could operate independently, or force the WNBA to reform. Clark's games generate 60% of the league's social media engagement. Her Instagram posts average 500,000 likes compared to the league's 150,000 per sport. A new team under her control could rival the Fever's $95 million valuation, especially given her ability to draw both crowds and sponsors. And the final twist, it's something no one expected. Bird's involvement signals that Clark's value transcends the WNBA, potentially attracting NBA investors who are tired of subsidizing a league that refuses to capitalize on its biggest star. This next part is where it all falls apart. The WNBA's financial dependence on the NBA is a glaring flaw. Since its founding, the NBA has covered roughly half of the WNBA's operating costs, $15 to $20 million annually, allowing the league to survive despite constant losses. In 2024, the WNBA still reported a $40 million deficit despite Clark-driven revenue spikes, including a 30% increase in ticket sales and a $200 million media deal. And that's when things took a shocking turn. Rather than investing in Clark's protection and promotion, the league doubled down on narratives prioritizing inclusivity over profitability, alienating fans who see Clark as the key to growth. But here's something most people completely miss. The WNBA's focus on identity politics, seen in Engelbert's reluctance to single out Clark, and the players' union defending veterans like Dejounte Carrington after controversial fouls, has fueled the perception that the league is hostile to its biggest star. Social media echoes that frustration. One fan wrote, "The WNBA would rather lose money than admit Clark's the reason people are watching. It's a bad business move." And by the end of this, you'll understand why it matters. The league's refusal to reform its officiating or salary structure. Clark earns just 0.7% of her $11 million market value. Risks pushing her toward alternatives like Bird's proposed team, or overseas leagues offering $1 to $3 million per season. And here's where things go from bad to worse. The June 17, 2025, game against the Connecticut Sun crystallized the WNBA's failures. With the Fever leading 88 to 71, J.C. Sheldon poked Clark in the eye, sparking a shoving match. Then Marina Mabrey escalated it, shoving Clark to the floor in a play later upgraded to a flagrant 2. The WNBA's response? technical fouls for both Clark and Mabry, no suspensions, and just a $400 fine for Sophie Cunningham's retaliation. The backlash was instant. One fan blasted. The WNBA lets Clark get mauled and fines her teammate for standing up for her. This league is a joke. But wait, the next part is what really matters. That incident galvanized Clark's supporters, including Bird, who saw parallels to his own career battles. His offer to back a Clark-led team is a direct response to the WNBA's inaction, a call to give her the platform she deserves, and that's where everything clicked into place. The Mabry incident wasn't just a foul, it became the symbol of a league failing to protect its future. The best part? We're just getting started. Bird's proposal is a wake-up call for a league that's coasted on NBA subsidies for too long. By offering Clark her own team, Bird is forcing the WNBA to confront its priorities, profit or politics, and what happens next could leave you speechless. Clark's marketability, her $28 million Nike deal and her 1.3 million All-Star votes, could sustain a new franchise and completely shift the WNBA's power dynamics. The league's 180% franchise valuation growth is largely thanks to her. Yet players ranked her 9th among guards in All-Star voting, a glaring sign of internal resistance. So here's the bottom line. The WNBA is at a crossroads. Embrace Clark, reform officiating, and prioritize profitability. Or continue leaning on NBA handouts and risk losing its biggest star. Bird's offer is both a lifeline for Clark and a direct challenge to a league that's failed to seize its moment. And the craziest part? It's 100% real. The WNBA's future now hinges on whether it finally builds around Caitlin Clark, the one player who could make it a true rival to the NBA.